Ooh, just missed it. Halloween's over, idiot. But guess what? Thanksgiving's here, stupid.
Hey, idiot, you know that pumpkin that's dissolving on your steps outside? It's got to be a pie now.
Yeah, turn it into pie just like your stupid brain, dum-dum. That's because you missed your chance to buy our Lived and Died in LA 2025 wall calendar.
Stupid.
It was the perfect thing for Halloween, idiot.
You dullard.
You rube.
You dum-dum.
You LA Meekly listener. But guess what? We still have some left, and they are still a great present for the new year because it is a 2025 calendar.
And it's going to be a new world order.
A new year
world order
calendar. Yeah, that's what we meant to say.
That's what we said.
Oops. So these calendars, the Lived and Died in LA 2025 wall calendars, are going for $35 shipping included. If you haven't heard, it is each day of the year for 365 days of the year. It is a different person of note who died in LA and where they died. It's a little morbid.
It's a little grim.
It's a little creepy, but just in time for Thanksgiving.
But if you're anything like me, since the age of 12, you've been thinking about it every day.
So if you want to get these, they are still a great holiday gift for the LA history lover in your life who also loves horror movies in December, that sort of person, the freak.
Yeah. Your average grave dweller.
So you can message us on Instagram, LA_Meekly, or email us at la.meekly@gmail.com, or go to lameeklypodcast.com/merch to see some pictures and send us a message to order one. $35 shipping included. Lived and Died in LA 2025 wall calendar. Get one for the weirdo, sick, freak, idiot, pervert cuck in your life.
Stupid.
Hey, stupid. I can't turn off my bad boy persona. We shouldn't have taken those ketamine, Creta. What are those things that like truckers buy or like guys who like UFC buy at a gas station?
Oh, right. I don't know what they're called. Like
Slim Jims.
Horny pills. Tiger Balm pills.
Tiger Balm.
Tiger Balm.
It's Tiger Balm.
Yeah, we died Tiger Balm.
What are those things that like these really macho, like Tampax?
Like Tampax. They they get like 40 Tampax. They drink them all. They mix that with the old Four Locos pre-2010 when they changed it.
And then they go play video games like Davey and Goliath.
They played video games like Joe Rogan's podcast.
So this is the Joe Rogan's podcast of LA History Podcast, LA Meekly, the Los Angeles History Podcast. This is Daniel Zaffron.
This is Greg Gonzalez.
So before we get into this episode, which is a little bit different, we'll explain. We first have a new patron to welcome in.
I am literally shaking with anticipation. You tell me the name right now. Tell me the name right now, man. I swear to God, you better tell me the name, man.
Hey, you better back off. You better cut back on the Tampax.
Dude, you're overdosing on Tampax right now. You better tell me that name, man. You better tell me that name right now, man.
So this month we have all the way from France, Lauren Anastasia. Might be Anastasia.
It might be Anastasia.
Lauren Anastasia.
I like Anastasia, though. Lauren Anastasia. Hi, Lauren.
In France, which is crazy. So that's right. If you live abroad, you can still support us at patreon.milk/LA Meekly. I have international stamps. I'm sick of people saying I don't.
Yeah.
I've got stamps.
Dude, they're laughing at you at the post office. When you walk in, I bet he doesn't have international stamps.
They're all laughing at me, and then they turn to the dog that's next to me, and like, you get this guy, and the dog says, kill him. So for as little as $5 a month, you can get a handwritten postcard from us from a different place in Los Angeles each month. And just for joining, you get an official LA Meekly sticker. So I'm sick of all of you expats and foreign nationals and
ambassadors with diplomatic immunity thinking you can't get a postcard.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Roman Polanski. You can finally join our Patreon at patreon.com/LA Meekly. You can help support the show, and we can get a little taste of home wherever you may live.
And you know what I say to that?
Oh, Greg. Greg, you're making me blush. Ooh la la.
You know what I say to that? Baguette.
So now back in America.
Yes.
This country that is so strong and united for the next 4 days.
It's going to be really nice in 2 weeks.
You're giving it that long.
I'm gonna give it that long. I don't know why I thought November 6th was the anniversary of January 6th, because it's literally in the name what day it happened.
What day was 9/11 on?
What day did January 6th happen? I think it was on the 23rd. I got like nervous. But like last time the last time there was a January 6th, I was painting a sign so I couldn't like dedicate my eyes to watching every single catastrophe happening unfolding on TV. But this time when it happens, I'm going to clear my schedule.
Yeah. Circle the date on your calendar because that's when we're going to Washington.
Yeah.
So before we get into this month, we've, of course, have to talk about something we did last month. So what was something you did in Los Angeles last month?
God. Oh, crap. Los Angeles County. It's so big. I did so many things.
Yeah. And just to spice things up, only an unincorporated Los Angeles County.
Unincorporated Los Angeles. Oh, man. I committed so many crimes.
What did you do in that woodsy road between Santa Clarita and the other part of Santa Clarita?
I left a body, and the LA Sheriff's Department's got to go get it. Me and Ada went on a very cool, very lovely ghost tour held by the Whittier Museum through their little park area in the, I think it's like, I think it might just be like Whittier Park, but it's in, there's all these beautiful Victorian or craftsman houses. It was cool because it's one block, right? Like four corners, like a square. And we just walked around the park, walked around the grass of the park. And there were like white owls flying everywhere, which was really scary.
I think those are part of they released those.
Do you think they released them? You think they're actually spray painted pigeons?
Yeah.
Yeah, with like little sound effects on their neck?
Yeah.
It's possible. I didn't check. I didn't flip the bird over and check the pee-pee, which you insist I do with every pet.
Always check the pee-pee.
Always check the pee-pee. So we walked around the periphery of the park on just the sidewalk, and he had enough stories to go on for, I want to say, like an hour and a half. And there were incredible stories. And then the people, we didn't have a big group. We had maybe like 3 other people beside me and Ada, but they were from Whittier. So they were able to chime in on stories they'd heard.
False.
That's bad. That's dumb. But it was a really great tour. And I suggest next year you think about going to Whittier Museum to have a tour of their historical area. But also they're going to have something they said in Christmas, like another candlelit thing. So
is that what the owls are for?
That's what the owls were for. It's like they're Harry Potter themed. Christopher Columbus bought Christmas after he made Home Alone.
Is that what Columbus Day is? It's celebrating the guy who directed the first few Harry Potter movies?
Yeah.
What's everyone making such a big deal about?
I know. Leave the statues up. It doesn't look like him, but leave the statues up.
That doesn't look like Harry Potter.
That doesn't look like Kevin McAllister, but okay. I guess all white people look alike.
Well, I had to...
You pulled a Greg?
I pulled a Greg, and right before we started recording, I thought, well, what did I do in the last month? Yeah. And once again, I'm going to have to say something that you're not able to do anymore because it's hollow. You can't not in insert president winner's name, Zamerica.
Yeah,
but it's another Halloween thing that's a little too late for. But I went to the haunted hayride.
Tell me everything about it.
Have you done this?
Yes.
Have you heard of this? Tell me if you've heard of this.
Stop me. Have you heard hay before?
They told me hay was for horses, and then I showed up and I killed a horse.
And I didn't get any hay.
When was the last time you went? Because from what I understand, it has changed a lot recently.
I went a very long time ago. I want to say 2013, 14.
Okay, so those were the early days.
Yeah, they called it that too. It was weird. They knew that they were going to last that long.
Welcome to the early days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it, but it apparently gets ridiculously crowded. But we went on when we went, it was early.
Yeah.
So
early in November.
It was very early in November.
Yeah.
It was not crowded, but they had the infrastructure for what looked like could be horrifically long lines.
Oh, yeah.
So I could see it being bad with the long lines. But other than that, I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
The hayride itself was It was okay, but they had 3 mazes you can do, and they were pretty good.
You're such a snob when it comes to hay rides.
Yeah, why couldn't I be in like a limo, like a Bentley? Could I do like a Bentley ride for the fall?
Like a early 2000s Escalade? Something that P. Diddy would be in.
He also had a maze called the Great American Freak Off. It was pretty scary.
He had something called Vote or Die. And it was a maze, I think. I don't remember.
But it was fun. The mazes were pretty good. There was one that a monster came up to us and gave us Tootsie Rolls. Ooh. Which was the scariest part.
He wasn't dressed like a monster. What made him a monster was he gave you Tootsie Rolls. Yeah, listen to the Candy's Dandy podcast to hear Daniel's opinions on Tootsie Rolls. Daniel's incorrect opinions on Tootsie Rolls.
The LA Weekly podcast is not responsible for the opinions reflected in Candy's Dandy.
That's a different Daniel.
Yeah, it was fun. I like to, now that I've done that, I think the only kind of like big paid maze thing to do for Halloween in LA that I haven't done. I haven't done not Scary Mary, Dark Harbor, McQueen Mary,
Dark Harbor,
which it should be called Scary Mary.
Scary Mary is great.
And I haven't done Fright Fest either.
Which
or Six Screams.
Six Flags?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. No, Six Screams.
Yeah, six.
Yeah, I haven't done those two, so that's maybe next year.
Yeah,
But
Six Drags.
Six drags over my hammy. I don't know.
Yeah, Flag Me to Hell. I don't.
But yeah, from what I understand, the Haunted Hayride has kind of gone downhill over the years.
Yeah,
recently.
When I went last, there was a lot of really cool theatrics, and you went up through the old maze. But
You mean the old
the old zoo. The old zoo, yeah. It's kind of a maze,
It's
zoos.
the old haunted Halloween maze in Griffith Park. Nobody uses it anymore.
Nobody comes in, but some people come out. The scariest thing was that we started walking back to our car, and
the white owl showed up.
The white owl showed up, and the owls are not what they seem. I've seen Twin Peaks. We're walking back to our car, and we're like, hey, let's go walk through a trail real quick at night.
Bad idea.
And we walked maybe
you became the new maze.
I'm the new maze. We walked maybe 200 feet down a path in Griffith Park at night, and we turned a corner, and there was just a strange white light beaming on a tree ahead of us, and I'm sure it was a light of one of the electrical things.
No, Greg, they said specifically when we walked in, we don't use white lights.
Yeah, they said, and if you see anything out there, it's ghosts, and you have to give us $10. They said that.
That's an added-on experience.
The park ranger said that.
If you experience it, it is an added-on experience.
But that was scarier than anything we paid for. Was just actively walking in the dark where I wasn't supposed to.
Well, that's where they do. I was going to say haunted Shakespeare, but Shakespeare in the park.
What's Macbeth but haunted Shakespeare? What's a Hamlet?
What's the world but a stage? That's where they do the Shakespeare thing, and it's creepy, but it's not supposed to be because it's just Shakespeare. So I know that they used to do it there, and I could see that being a much better thing because now it's the Crystal Springs area they call it.
Right.
It's closer to the
golf course.
5 and the golf course and all that. It was fun. If you can do it so that you don't pay too much money and don't have to wait in lines, it's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But now you can't do that because it's now November, and you know what that means.
The new president has taken over. Yeah,
the new president, fill in the blank, has taken over, has usurped the presidency from fill in the blank. So this November, you, dear listeners, aka the idiots, sent to us what your holiday time traditions are in LA. Christmas, Hanukkah, Thanksgiving, Kwanzaa, whatever. I say Kwanzaa, there were no Kwanzaa submissions, unfortunately.
I was really hoping for one.
I wanted one. Yeah. Where are our Kwanzaa celebrators?
Yeah. I've never heard from one. I remember in 3rd grade, my teacher wore a daishiki, and I thought that's really cool. I'd like to hear more about Kwanzaa. And that was the last time I ever heard about Kwanzaa.
And you went up to the teacher and said, hey, tell me about Kwanzaa. Someone you've never met before.
Yeah.
No Kwanzaa. There were some New Year's, which I wanted. And actually a few, not Hanukkah, Haunted Hanukkah. Halloween.
Yeah.
A few Halloween things
good.
made it in also.
I'm trying to have more Halloween traditions.
Okay, so first I have some old traditions that I looked into that used to take place in LA that kind of don't anymore.
Yeah.
And some that kind of do. And then I have a list of mine, and some of them have a little bit of history.
Okay.
This is a loose episode. We just have a little bit of structured history.
Yeah.
And then we'll
can't truly be loose if Daniel's here. Yeah.
Have you seen my stool, Greg? I think I can
it's
be
pretty loose.
Quite loose.
Yeah.
The doctor is concerned of how loose. We'll kind of go back and forth with our traditions, and then we will get into what all of you sent that you like to do in LA. So let's start with some old LA traditions that no longer really happen. So aside from the really religious Christian, it burns my throat to say it.
Good.
Christian.
Ping, ping. And then it's like acid when like a xenomorph.
Oh, hey neighbor.
Yeah.
Aside from that, sort of really religious stuff that they were doing in the Spanish and Mexican days, like La Pastorela, which is, you tell me, La Pastorela, I guess it's some play that they.
Isn't that they act out the.
I think so.
Jesus.
They act out the Jesus.
They act out the Jesus. They do.
They also pray the gay away, but they also act out the Jesus.
They pray the gay into me. Yeah, don't they? The Christmas Eve, they do a whole ceremony for Jesus' birth.
Yeah, so that stuff.
Some people get to be like Joseph and Mary and the baby, the wee baby.
Yeah, who are these people? I don't know.
I'm all about the guy who owns the manger, who's like, well, there's no room inside, but there was room inside. He just didn't want. He didn't trust Joseph. He had a beard.
These are all things that I would learn at La Pastorela.
So I think that, I mean, I know Ada's family does something on Christmas. There are a lot of families that do stuff on Christmas Eve, and my family did stuff Christmas morning because we're more American.
So the earliest recorded Christmas tradition, quote unquote, that I found, other than that, like, I hesitate to call this more secular because it is kind of centered around Christmas,
right.
But like the things that aren't just like going to church.
Yeah.
Okay, the first time people went to church in Los Angeles. So the first one I found was that in the 1850s, they would have horse races at the missions on Christmas Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Did both the horses get to live at the end of it?
One did.
The Battle Royale.
Yeah, and the other one had to eat the other one, and then the people did eat the other horse on Boxing Day.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is when they would box the horse to death and then eat it.
Yeah, they didn't. He threw a pretty mean hook.
Pretty mean hoof. Left hoof.
That's funny. I should go home now.
I don't think so.
I believe escape is quite impossible.
So in 1857 came not only the first Christmas tree in LA, but in all of Southern California, the first Christmas tree by a British doctor named Matthew Carter.
Wow.
It was his family's own personal tree in his house, but they invited all the neighbors inside to decorate it. And then on Christmas Eve, all the local kids were invited inside to see it, and they were never heard from again.
A tree inside?
A tree inside?
British people are weird. This is why we kicked them out of the country. Trees, where I'm from, they're outside.
You go to the bathroom inside?
Water closet?
Yeah, that was the first Christmas tree.
What year was that?
1857.
Wow. Very good year.
On the Thanksgiving side of things, in the late 1800s, East Coast tourists seeking the sunnier fall days of LA would come to town and immediately head to the Alpine Tavern on Mount Low for Thanksgiving Day, where they would gorge themselves on turkey and then go sledding outside in the snow. I thought they were trying to get away from. So like that was the whole, like they'd come to Los Angeles and be like, what's up there?
Yeah.
It looks white and snowy. Just like we
surely it cannot be snow.
Why is the sun so white up there? Yeah, so they immediately went to recreate their East Coast traditions.
Well, there's a thing about East Coast people where they're dumb and have no brains, and they're not like West Coast people that are smart and have brains.
Because we get so much sunlight, which is why nobody here is depressed.
Not a single person.
All successful.
Don't look into Peg Entwistle, but other than that, we're
the only one.
Yeah, the only single person.
Only blemish on Hollywood's pristine history. Peg Entwistle. Ooh, that nasty witch.
I oughta.
For Thanksgiving 1899, they had a parade in Pasadena with people dressed up as, this is the quote, cowboys, Indians, monks, and freaks. I don't know who the freaks are, and I don't know what the monks were doing there either. But who are the freaks?
What a snapshot of like the totem pole of importance according to America at the time.
And then at a certain point, maybe let's cut out the bottom two.
Yeah, why don't we just do...
I don't know what they meant by free. I don't know who they mean.
Yeah.
Who's involved with Thanksgiving that in 1899 will be considered a freak?
I mean, anybody, any single person who wasn't...
Rick James?
Rick James. He's kind of like the poster boy.
Yeah, I mean, he's more than just a freak.
He's an Uber freak. He's an Uberman.
Freud talked about him, the Uber freak.
I mean, this woman wears pants. This guy's got shaggy hair.
Yeah. Hey, why is this white person dressed up like a Native American? And that's the freak, the guy who said that.
That's the guy the guy who questioned it. That's a freak.
Yeah, that's a freak.
Yeah, the guy who's like, maybe we shouldn't be like, red zoning areas of town.
Freak. So this parade then transitioned into a turkey shoot at the Pasadena Country Club, which I assume is exactly what we think it is. A photo shoot for turkeys. A boudoir shoot for turkeys.
Well, actually, I mean, you're really dumb. You're really dumb for thinking that. But actually, you'd put turkey into a needle and then inject it into, you'd mainline it. It's a turkey shoot.
They would recreate all of their dining rooms like a really dirty back alley, and they would all inject gravy into their veins.
There was actually like a door that you would push them. You might have wrote shoot, but it's shoot. CHUTE.
It sounded really funny.
Yeah.
So in the early 1900s, thousands of turkeys would be raised for the Thanksgiving bloodbath in the San Fernando Valley. There were so many turkeys.
That's you.
There were so many. Well, there's only jive turkeys in this apartment. There were so many turkeys in the valley. How many turkeys were there? That turkey thieves became a problem so big that these ranches needed 24-hour security to protect the turkeys.
God.
One of them had a giant guard tower in the middle of it with a gunman on top to keep watch. Which I think this is the plot of Chicken Run, isn't it?
This is some of Fantastic Mr. Fox. Imagine protecting an animal just so you can kill it later.
Yeah, that's my kill.
Yeah, you leave it alone. I'm raising it.
Also, how do you steal a turkey?
It's very loud.
Have you seen a
it?
turkey?
Yeah.
It's not just like loud, but they're big. Like, how do you?
I got a crazy idea. I'm going to go ahead and steal a vulture. Like, what? Why it's so
And
large?
turkeys famously can fly away, so I don't know how you catch them.
No, they're like owls.
They're like owls. They're dyed white so that we think that they're pigeons or whatever we were saying.
They like embody a certain spirit. Turkeys.
So then there have been the glamorous Hollywood schmoozing opportunities of Thanksgiving. There were the exclusive celebrity-only Thanksgiving dinners at the Brown Derby in the late 20s and 30s.
Right.
In 1926, a movie producer had a Thanksgiving dinner to promote 3 corpulent comedians named Fat Carr, Fatty Alexander, and Cupie Ross, collectively known as a ton of fun comedy team. Invited to this dinner were only people who weighed over 250 pounds.
Oh my God. You would have been the king of that. You're so big.
I'm 249.9. Okay. I tried to go in.
Yeah. So what if I welded 2 belts together?
Hey, string bean, get out of here.
They're like the bad blockbuster version of a good movie. Like Fatty Arbuckle. Are you getting Fatty Arbuckle? No, we're getting like...
No, we have a Fat Carr.
Yeah, Fat Carr. He's just as funny. Is he just as fat? No.
Then I'm not laughing.
But if his chair does not break, I do not go.
But it's weird that like Thanksgiving was being used as a Hollywood publicity stunt. Even
only fatties like
then.
this holiday. Yeah. Now we all like it. That's what breaking down walls is about.
We broke through the crispy skin ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
So then in 1929, there was a Thanksgiving Day parade down Broadway, downtown, to kick off the gift buying season that was called the Fairyland Parade that had fairy tale inspired floats. And of course, what Thanksgiving/Christmas season is complete without a little bit of Hanukkah?
Oh,
a little bit of Hanukkah.
Freaks.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, there was some dirt on my notes. It was Cowboys, Indians, monks, and Jews. That's what was in the parade. So I couldn't find much on organized Hanukkah celebrations, really, because it's obviously not as big as Christmas. But in the 20s and 30s, lots of temples and Jewish social organizations around town would put on different plays and live stage performances related to the Hanukkah story. But now back to your precious Christmas. I know you want to hear about it some more.
The little baby was born. The little baby.
A chubby little boy was born in Bethlehem. Another early 20th century activity that we'll hear echoes of in things people sent into us was just wandering department stores.
Right.
This time of year. Even way back then, people would flock to the Broadway department store. They'd go to Bullock's to see Santa. They'd go to the Hamburger department store, which was actually Jewish owned. So they advertised a lot of Hanukkah shopping there too. In 1939 on Broadway and 7th, they put up 42,000 twinkling lights to set the mood for the shoppers.
Wow.
Which they kind of have now. Wait, no, that's more the... What's the part of downtown that has lights over it now? Does Broadway do that, or is that like the Arts District more?
It might be the Arts District. I know it's over like...
Yeah.
It's like 5th.
Where the old bank...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there. But then I think going down 4th and Spring, there's like the lights hanging over the street.
Well, those are broken light poles.
That's actually, those are actually...
And there's people hanging from them saying, "Welcome to the jungle."
Yeah. Yeah, those are just like exploding rats in the sky.
So one of the main parts of town to undergo a holiday time transformation at this time was Hollywood Boulevard. As we talked about in our parades episode long ago, they'd of course have the Hollywood Christmas Parade, which you can go listen to that episode to hear about. I'm not going to go over that all again.
No, do it again.
Starting in 1928, they would rename Hollywood Boulevard between Vine and La Brea Santa Claus Lane, which, as we learned in that episode, was where the song Here Comes Santa Claus was based on. They'd even put up street signs that would say Hanukkah Lane, whatever they'd say.
Roll up the windows.
Make sure the doors are locked. They would put up signs. It would be renamed.
That's adorable. It
is pretty cute.
It's pretty cute.
Well,
it's like the worst street to do that on, but it's really cute.
Well, they'd also put real Christmas trees up along the street with lights on them, which must have been a disaster because in 1929 they switched it to metal trees. Then in 1930, they added these giant candles on top of the metal trees. And then in 32 started hanging metal wreaths on the metal trees with pictures of movie stars in them.
Yeah.
Then in 37, they put giant metal Santas on top of these like monstrous metal.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm trying to think of another M that could go with this. Monstrous metal what's an M word that has to do with Christmas?
Mistletoes?
Monstrous metal mistletoes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm good at alliterations because my name is an alliteration.
And then World War II hit and Christmas was melted down into bullets. So from 42 to 44.
We still have Hanukkah. The dreidels are out. Don't worry, there's enough dreidels for everybody.
Oh no, the dreidels are out. Lock the door. Get your kids out of the street. The dreidels are coming. So
Flight.
So from we have our own. You can't fool us. So from 1942 to 44, they put up giant paper mache Santas instead of the metal trees, which I saw a picture. They're horrifying.
Oh, I bet.
They are not
paper mache
pleasant.
is not a good look.
No, it's not flattering to anybody.
Well, that's really sleek and pleasant to look at.
That doesn't look like the Terrifier.
That doesn't look like an old witch from a fairy tale.
They switched things up in 1960 to 62 when they started hanging garlands and medallions over the street. And from 63 to 68, they had rotating trees along the street. But then as Hollywood Boulevard started becoming what it is today, the Christmas spirit started draining from it year after year until I think nothing happens there now. I mean, they do the parade.
No, I think they have the parade. I think that they do something nice. I want to say they changed the lights or they put like garland up on street lights. But it's like the fence.
Yeah, they put cranberries on the puddles of vomit and urine that are on the street.
They spray the peppermint scent on all the urine soaked stars all down. Yeah.
Instead of the smell of burning heroin, it smells like freshly baked sugar cookies. It's great.
It's great. They put little Santa hats on all the rats.
That I would like that.
I would like that a lot. I would be less scared.
So elsewhere around LA from 1949 to 53, the Los Angeles Transit Line trolleys were painted like candy canes.
Cute.
One weird specific thing I found was that in Westchester for several decades, people would put giant 6-foot tall red candles in their front yards with the name of the family who lived there at the bottom of it.
I'm going to rob them.
I know. And then they had little pictures of all their kids and what their social security numbers are.
What locksmith they usually go to.
And the name of their first pet.
Yeah.
And their mom's maiden name, which it was the same name.
It was the same name, yeah.
So supposedly this tradition started in the 50s when two men living on Chase Avenue made some for themselves and then their neighbors and called the street Candle Lane.
Okay.
Then other people started doing it and eventually it spread all over Westchester and into some parts of Playa del Rey. Then it became a whole thing like Candy Cane Lane and people would bus in to come see these red candles. The tradition faded away over the years, but some people are trying to bring it back. Even today, we might be able to go see some candles.
I like to do Candle Lane.
So now let's get into our traditions.
Okay.
How do you want to go one by one or?
Sure.
Because I've got like 40.
Me and my family do everything. A little bit of this, a little bit of sledding, a little bit of gravy, a little bit of candy.
We go chaparral sledding.
You go first.
So one of mine, I'm starting with the big ones because these ones have a little bit of history to go with it.
Yeah.
I've talked about this all the time. The Los Angeles County Holiday Celebration at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion.
You do that.
Started in 1959 by our old friend Kenneth Hahn. It's a free show to anyone. It's about 3 hours now with dozens of different local bands and performance groups doing 2 to 3 holiday songs each, and it just kind of rotates out. When it first started, it was a 12-hour long show, and I remember the days when it might not have been 12, but it was maybe like 6 or 9 hours.
God.
And you could just kind of, you would like come, stay for a couple hours and leave, and then new people would come in.
Yeah.
I found a few of our old Meekly Music Box guests from there.
That's right. Yeah,
Jessica Feast Show and a couple others, I think. After the show, we'd get Chinese food somewhere. We used to go to Chinatown, but now there's only like one Chinese restaurant left in Chinatown. And for a while, we were going to get Japanese food in Little Tokyo after that. And also part of that whole experience was getting to see the Lindbergh Beacon on top of City Hall. That's pretty cool. Only lit on Christmas Eve, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, that's something I still do. I'll probably be there this year.
You're a big, I guess because of the city we live in and its deep Christian roots, you're big on Christmas. No, you don't celebrate Christmas. I guess you do now because your wife is a celebrator of Christmas.
No, I stand outside while they celebrate. I stand outside with my talit on.
I stand watch.
I will protect you.
I will protect you, Christians.
Oh no, the dreidels are coming!
Stand back, everybody.
Stand back. We got a gimel. Yeah, I do, especially compared to you.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this a lot of why I do, and Jewish people in general love Christmas so much because I think a big part of it is that we don't have the negative connotations that you do.
Yes.
And most people have kind of bad connotations. Like something bad has happened during a Christmas to most Christian people.
It's just too high
Especially
pressure.
Jesus. That was a bad Christmas. Oh, wait, no, that was his birthday.
His birthday. He didn't die on his birthday.
I don't know.
He died a couple days before Easter. Who knows when that is? Oh, they're the same day. They dragged it out though.
It's Armenian Easter, which is Christmas Day.
Which is Christmas Day. Yeah, you love Christmas because it's no stress for you. It's just lights and everyone and jazz
I'm simply
music.
an observer.
Yeah,
it's jazz and cookies to me.
Yeah, jazz and cookies. Yeah, everything's just jazz and cookies. For us and our family, this is like a traditional, like it feels like traditional, I want to say like American, because it feels like it's more Latino to celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve at midnight.
Yeah.
And like you open presents at midnight. It's a party, and then some people will do the celebration. They'll reenact, the birth of Jesus. Our family was very American by the time that I was born, so it was very much like Christmas Eve. We do a rotation of movies that we all basically like, any movie that was on at the time, we would just like fit into our regular, we're going to watch this every year. And then luckily the TBS, I think it was TBS made it easy and just like play Christmas Story 24 hours a day, which now my family just like, when we go between houses, everyone's just leaves it on. We open Christmas in the morning.
Halloween is on.
Yeah. Hey, don't threaten me with a good time. Now,
my favorite Christmas movie, Mr. Deeds on TBS.
Black Christmas. But then like Christmas is for me always growing up were really stressful because you have the morning and then you have to get ready after you got all this new stuff and then go to spend the day at two sides of the family's house. Like morning was my mom's side that lasted midday, and then we'd go home, refuel for like 10 minutes and then go to the other side and then be there until like 11.
I am just a tourist in your land on this day.
Guy.
It's great.
And like now as an adult, I don't want to do anything on any holiday because growing up, like the whole day is at other people's houses and then like celebrating with
your house.
What?
Why don't you have it at your house?
We used to have it at my house and then something bad happened.
See, everyone has something bad happen on Christmas.
I've had several bad Christmases and like also just growing up and having to buy people like the attention shifting from like I'm a present receiver and now I'm a present giver.
That is that, and I've said this every year. The greatest gift you can get someone is not making them buy a gift for you. But I
agree with you. And I tell people every year, don't get me anything because I don't know if I can get you something. And they're like, but that's not the spirit of Christmas. It's guilt. You're guilting me a gift.
Yeah, now that's the spirit of Christmas.
That's where it all comes.
But that is the one downside. I mean, I guess it's, because now not only is there Hanukkah gifts to buy for people, now there's Christmas gifts to buy for people. So
you're in the club.
I am paying for both sides. I am paying my admission to see both events.
I don't see money again until March.
For Easter?
You got to spend that Easter cash.
Well, so my next one that I have is something I love, Christmas tree lanes.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of those.
Well, I've been trying to do that more often.
The first one was the Altadena one on Santa Rosa Avenue. It's also the oldest large-scale Christmas lights display in Southern California is the Altadena Christmas tree lane.
Do you drive through or do you walk?
I think I've gone as a kid. We went a few years ago. I think it was the first year of the pandemic.
Okay.
And we didn't really know what to do. So we parked. And that kind of was not the best way to experience it. I like that you can see stuff more, but also like there's not really sidewalks and you're kind of walking in a ditch while like other cars are swerving towards you looking at the house.
I don't want to say it's a steep street. It's certainly
dark.
It's dark.
There's a lot of lights, but it's dark.
It's dark. Yeah, you're those lights become utilitarian because it's the only way you can see because the giant trees block out the street lights.
I found my way home by the light of the Grogu and a Santa hat.
That's our modern North Star. That's how the wise men know how to find Jesus.
Yeah, 3 droids went to this.
You had an IG-88, you had an R2-D2, you had a C-3PO.
Well, so this Christmas tree lane, though, it started in 1920 by F.C. Nash as the Mile of Christmas Trees. The decorated trees in question are 135 deodar trees that were planted in 1885 to pave the driveway up to the house of the Woodburys, who were the founders of Altadena.
Wow.
So that whole street was their driveway. For a few decades, SoCal Edison provided free electricity for the trees because it was such a tourist destination. Now they charge double. But yeah, that one's pretty good. The one that I found, because the real appeal of that one is because it is really like a Christmas tree lane because of those giant trees.
Yeah, it is very.
But there's one in Torrance. I think it's Torrance.
Okay.
That is really good. It
Really?
doesn't have those trees, but there are so many houses
Really?
decorated so nicely. And that's one that we drove through, and I regret it because I really couldn't, like, 'cause, you know,
Yeah.
everyone's going slow, but you still have to keep moving. So you don't, if you're the one driving, you can't really appreciate
You're going to
it.
fender bender if you don't.
Yeah. And I did mow down a few kids and a reindeer. He had a red nose. Not my problem.
It'll look like if there was footage like dash cam stuff, it looks like I aimed for him.
Dasher cam.
Dasher cam. Shut up.
But that one's really good. That one I think you should park at. And my dream is to park there and neck a little. Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Park there
Tongue
and
as deep as you can.
with Grogu wearing a Santa hat.
Yeah.
And have a nice big hot chocolate and just walk around.
Just knock back a beer, just like 2 beers, warm your system up.
Hang on.
Take a walk.
Let me put on the Santa filter for this one. He said hot chocolate.
The band Hot Chocolate while you're drinking a beer.
Wait, what does hot chocolate sing?
You sexy thing.
Yeah, you sexy
and,
thing. That's me to Grogu in a Santa hat.
There's another really good one. Boom, 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 boom. I was trying to get a tradition going for a while. I think I talked about this years ago. I want to say it was 2015 or 2016. I went to my grandma's house for Christmas. I missed everybody, so it was just her and my aunt. So we took tequila shots, and then I left to go to the other side's party. And in
the West Side Gonzalez.
No, I would never. Going to the City Gonzalez's. But on my way over, I had I had time to kill, and I stopped at Clifton's.
Oh, right.
And parking was really easy, and parking was like literally like maybe on Broadway. I walked on Broadway. I walked in I think at the time the cafeteria was open, so I treated myself to the Clifton's cafeteria dinner. I went upstairs and I got an old fashioned. It was $1 because they had just opened or something. They had just opened for the night. And it was just really lovely. Like I was by myself. It was decorated like Christmas. They were playing like light jazz, and it was in Clifton's.
But then they took Clifton's away from you, and you couldn't do that anymore.
I think the following year they closed the cafeteria or something like that. And then I tried to do that again. They charged me like $15 for the old fashioned.
And they also charge you an extra $10 if you wanted to feel the Christmas spirit.
Right.
Yeah, which was a peep show.
It's a peep show. The lights are off, but you feel around. And then I think the third year I tried it again, also had a bad time. And then it was 2020 and it was the pandemic.
And you had a great time.
Fantastic.
That's another thing that some people do mention later is the lack of traffic in LA, which is like such, it feels like a joke thing for people to appreciate in LA.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Really nice.
To be able to get from here to Melissa's family in like 20 minutes, like it's really nice.
It's painful knowing how fast you can get to certain parts of the city when a lot of people, let's say, go home for the holidays.
Yeah, and this is why you keep saying
build a wall.
You keep writing in on all of the things on the ballot. You're putting a vote for Thanos. That was your writing candidate. Even for the propositions, you wrote in Thanos.
And then parentheses, as long as he has the gauntlet, full gauntlet Thanos. Yeah, I wrote the purple guy. I didn't remember his name.
Josh Brolin. I wrote in Josh Brolin.
I wrote Josh Brolin. And so if Josh Brolin wins, he has to be the purple guy.
He has to get a gauntlet.
He has to be the purple guy for a little bit longer.
Well, my next one is one that I hesitate to call it a tradition because it did fall off when the pandemic started, but Las Posadas downtown. Right. It's a procession down Olvera Street and then music and food and drinks at the old church across the street. They've had this Las Posadas at Olvera Street since 1930.
Right.
It reenacts the journey of Mary and Joseph, whoever they are.
That's what I was talking about.
As they pass by Cielito Lindo and Mr. Churro on their way to Bethlehem. It's supposed
just like the old days.
And Jesus was in his arms and kept pointing at a pack of jumping beans. Mm-hmm. And he said, please, please. And the mom kept saying, no, you don't need it.
We don't need it. We have jumping beans at home. He keeps pointing at the marionettes hanging. He's like, I want that one. You show me that you are going to actually learn how to do it and I'll buy it for you.
You don't want to hear what happened when he saw the serape that had Go Dodgers written on it. Oh my God.
He wanted it so bad. We want him to have it, but it's not time. It's the wrong size for him. He's not ready.
You're not ready for this, my child.
You couldn't even name 3 Dodgers. You just know that you're supposed to like them.
There was Mary, Joseph, Mike Piazza.
Frankincense.
So it's supposedly the oldest continually celebrated Christmas event in LA is our Las Posadas. Wow. There's also a huge display of flowers that's bigger than anything I've ever seen in my life, and also a piñata. But that's a really fun thing downtown.
Full meals come out when you hit that piñata.
Yeah. A bunch of taquitos start flying out of it. It's great.
It's great. That Posadas is what I'm talking about, where they reenact the...
No, so the thing I was talking about is Los Pastorales or something, which is like literally you go into a church or like an auditorium and you watch a play of like the child was born. But the Las Posadas is more fun.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a walk and then food and music. But it was really great. I guess they're doing it again. They stopped when the pandemic started. I know that, but I'm
that mean Jesus wasn't born?
Yeah, he turned back the clock. He de-Thanos'd.
He de-Thanos'd it, yeah.
He pulled a Superman and flew around the earth really fast backwards.
He can do that.
Yeah, because that's how Superman defeated Thanos.
Also dressed like Superman too. I feel like now something I make sure I have to do every year is mostly movie based. I have to watch
a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I have to watch The Thin Man on or around Christmas, or at least between Christmas and New Year's, which is when Thin Man takes place, between Christmas and New Year's. It's actually Christmas Eve to New Year's.
And you want it to unfold in real time.
Yeah.
This scene clearly takes place December 28th at 4 p.m.
At 4 p.m. and I'll pause it and I'll wait for Nick in order to get to the mall. And Holiday Inn's the other one.
I'm thinking of Howliday Inn, which is a Bunnicula story, I believe.
Yeah, that's strange.
Dogs that stay in a hotel.
Yeah, it's not that. I don't watch that. I'm pretty sure
you're watching the wrong thing then.
I think that you should probably put that in your rotation.
Now I'm onto my smaller things. So just kind of things I see. Do you see what I see is what this segment is called.
I'm so glad he wrote this stuff down.
Seeing the tree on top of Capitol Records. That's one of the things. This started in 1958, designed by Olson Lighting. It has 4,373 bulbs, and they've done it every year except 1973 because of the energy crisis.
Right.
But that is just a sort of, it's comforting to see like, the seasons have changed. The light bulb tree is on top of the Capitol Records building.
We have passed another rotation.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Time keeps moving forward.
The unstoppable march of time. Related to that, though, also the tree on top of the Budweiser factory in, I guess you could call it Van Nuys, Lake Balboa. This starts at 12:01 a.m. on November 26th and runs until 7 a.m. on January 1st. It's 26 strings of lights holding 1,612 red, green, and white bulbs that flash in Morse code. Bud. But that's up year round. It just doesn't turn on till then. But that is also something where it's like, now I can feel the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have leaves changing. We have like companies turning on their lights. On. Yeah,
we have giant corporations flipping a switch.
You may now celebrate with a bud.
But at 7 a.m. on January 1st, you must put away all celebrations and go back to
a new fiscal year has begun.
But still, bud. Yeah, those are two things that I just like seeing.
Between Thanksgiving to early January, I feel confident in speaking for a large population of Los Angeles that we consume maybe 3 million tamales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to get into some food stuff. Not really, just a little bit, but
you're going to get into a little bit of food stuff.
In moderation.
Yeah.
I wish I had more of a tamale connection.
Yeah.
Because the place that I would usually get good tamales around that time of year is our work holiday parties. Mm-hmm. This one lady would make a lot of tamales that were really good. But that, again, with the pandemic, they stopped doing that.
Yeah.
So
I would happily be your tamale connection.
Get me some tamales.
I'll get you and your wife some tamales. And the little one, too.
And your little cat, too.
And your little cat,
Turn him into a tamale. I don't know where to... Like, I know that you have to, like, place orders.
Yeah. I remember one year, I forget, it was like it was either maybe 2020, the year of the pandemic, or the year before that. But one place ordered something wrong, and it was like a staple of that community. Like, everybody in, like, a large area went to one place to get tamales. And they couldn't provide it. And like people were on the news crying, like, what am I going to do? Like I put the order in and now I don't have tamales.
Do you just have family made tamales, or do you have a place that you go to?
I feel like they probably have a place to go to, but
they're not telling you. They're saying, I made these. They're stamped.
Yeah, they're stamped.
It's a Grandma Corporation.
The Grandma Gonzalez Corporation. They could be making it. I don't know. I'm always left out of the food making process. And that's why I don't know how to cook. I'm a boy. I'm not allowed to.
It's because you kept dropping your Band-Aids and all the tamales.
I kept coughing on everything.
Yeah.
And using honey-baked ham to wipe mocos up.
Yeah, you were using the corn husks as a handkerchief.
Yeah.
One more thing that I'd like seeing. There's this one house. Oh, I forget what it's called. I've taken you there in Toluca Lake that puts up a ton of Santa Clauses.
Yes.
And for Halloween, they have a bunch of pumpkins.
And you have one bullet and you got to kill the right one.
Right. You have to. Who's the clone? Yeah. They're all pointing at each other also.
You were the good one this year. You were good.
Yeah.
You were good.
They call it a North Pole standoff. But that house in Toluca Lake, I think, what is it called? Like the Lily Manor or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a display that is so comforting because it's all like retro Santa stuff. So it's really impressive to see. And that's another thing like the trees of these rich people turn their lights on. I can celebrate.
Another tradition we've been doing for almost 10 years now. This will be our 11th. No, is this our 10th year doing Meekly or 11th now?
We started in something since 2013. So this would be the 11th year.
For our last 11 years. In December, we've been looking up spooky things. And that's
in November, we look it up.
You're right.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. So feeling scared in November is also kind of part of that.
Yeah, getting the house ready and all this and that, and Thanksgiving's coming, but also like, I got to go and read about Queen Mary. I got to stop all this stuff I'm supposed to be doing because I have to read about a haunted house that happened because of a murder in 1973. Yeah,
that is something that the sort of fear of researching those episodes. I remember last time for the UCLA one.
That's right.
Because it gets dark earlier this time of year, and I'm just sitting there reading about like these the entity house. I'm like, this is Thanksgiving.
The San Pedro house, I remember really scaring me, and I remember feeling like it had gotten darker around that time, and be like, oh, this is cool. I enjoy this.
This is how God meant it. One other thing I like is the Granada Hills Christmas Parade.
Right,
I always go to that.
You do? Is that where you see SpongeBob?
I saw SpongeBob once. I saw Spunkbot once, but also one time a long time ago. The cast of Malcolm in the Middle was there. I think it was the first. It must have been the first season.
Yeah,
because the whole cast drove by on a car.
Oh wow,
which is so weird.
They were filming.
And Reese did give me a swirly. Was that not part of the episode?
I don't understand. Everyone said cut, but he didn't cut, and then they arrested him.
And then he cut me. That's something I always like doing because there's a few parades. I know that a lot of different towns have their parades. That's just kind of the one I go with.
You're also a Rose Parade guy. You wake up early and you watch it.
I do love the Rose Parade. I have gone to the Rose Parade once.
Mm-hmm. Too cold.
Probably not cold. Early. Too early. I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon.
Shame. What a shame.
But I love watching that on TV. And then like we've talked about, they have the thing afterwards now that you can go see the floats, but don't they charge you to go see that, which kind of sucks. But
that's what my TV's for, pal.
Yeah. There's a bunch of flowers at this house right across the street. I'll just look at that. Kind of looks like an iguana.
The funeral has just as many flowers.
This mortuary has so many flowers.
So many flowers here.
Yeah, that is something.
Fire calendar.
That is idiot.
Idiot fire calendar.
Yeah, that is something that I do like doing. But that's more of a New Year's thing.
I guess so. But holiday traditions.
It's all covered.
Yeah, it's all covered.
One thing it's closed now, but the Alpine Village was the perfect place to be for Christmas. I think I only got to go twice before they closed, but that was a great place to be for gifts or just like to feel like in the spirit, because if you don't know, it was a German village recreation kind of area, and the store had all these things imported from Germany who go crazy for any sort of charismatic figure they could idolatrize.
Kick me out now.
Idolize. Adulterize.
What happened? Did you buy a calendar? Yeah, you walk around Alpine Village like, kick me out now. I got my papers.
You have to go through Checkpoint Charlie if you want to go to certain parts of the store, though. But that was a great place to buy gifts or just food for Christmas time.
Every year now, I have to go every year for Christmas to get ready for Christmas morning. I go to the Continental Gourmet Sausage Co. on San Fernando and Sonora in Glendale.
What do they have? Sausages?
They have sausages, but they have a pecan pastry that's one of the tastiest things I've ever had. I bought it, and the woman selling it to me apologized. And I said, what are you sorry for? She's like, because you're going to be back tomorrow. They're $13 for, I want to say, four in a package. They're frozen.
And then you bit into it, and everything turned black, and you heard dun, dun, dun,
dun, dun. And she said, I'll see you next Tuesday. Yeah.
Keep on trucking.
Yeah, and then 5 years later, I took a urine test for a job, and it showed positive
bunch
for
of
that
pecans
PK.
playing out.
Yeah, the pecans, buddy. We're gonna arrest you. Going to jail for 50 years.
You're going to Glendale jail. Glen jail.
But I do that every year for Christmas morning specifically.
Okay.
You know, I guess we go to my brother's house. He always chooses to live far away. When I wake up in the morning, I like to make pastries for myself to have with coffee and no tree.
So my next thing is to get some Hanukkah involved. I sometimes go to some public menorah lightings that they have where they give you latkes and jelly donuts. They just have a ton of them. Pretty good deal.
Your boy likes latkes.
Your boy likes jelly donuts.
Yeah.
Hey, you got latke in my jelly donut.
You bite into a donut, and guess what? There's a latke
It's
inside.
a potato donut.
You know what's inside of that latke? Jelly. And the rabbi, very mad. We shouldn't have done that. He says the word abomination a lot.
Something about not kosher. But yeah, those are, that's the equivalent of like a Christmas tree lighting. Like
yeah.
But
I'd like to go to that one time.
Hey, let's go.
I like to celebrate
You will
my
have
Jewish
to
roots.
convert. Yeah, you just like to reconnect with your Jewish roots.
Yeah, my Jewish roots.
To bring it back to Thanksgiving for a little bit, though, Melissa and my sister always go to a turkey trot somewhere around town, but I refuse to get up that early, so I watch the Macy's parade and the dog show instead.
That's very cute.
Usually just me on the couch watching parades during the holidays.
That's all I've ever wanted in my life.
Yeah.
And I love my family, but I don't want to spend too much time with them.
But they're not a parade.
They're not being home and depressed.
One more display that I always like seeing, if you haven't heard, you gotta see DJ Jingles.
That you? Is that your persona?
Yeah.
Is that your DJ persona?
And he's here with us right now. I turn my baseball cap around and it's an elf hat. It's
You're playing an Elvis song that you supercut?
If you'll put in those headphones I have lying next to you.
Greg, would you please reach over and hit the pause button?
It's just one in particular around here in Sherman Oaks, but it's like a full. It's a elf that popped. No, I think the elf is behind a DJ table. Obviously, DJ Jingles, and he's playing the music, and then there's like a snowman and Santa Claus and other elves popping out, and they spray fake snow on you. It's just like a popular display around here that everyone kind of goes to.
That sounds very nice.
Everyone kind of goes to it.
Everyone kind of goes to it.
And the neighbors love it. But yeah, that's another thing that I like.
That sounds very nice.
I gotta see DJ Jingles before Christmas is over.
Yes, I have to.
I must.
It cannot be ignored.
So my last one is similar to your pecan pastry one.
Yes.
On Christmas Eve morning, me and Melissa always go to this one Mexican bakery and get a pastry, some champurrado, and walk around the neighborhood.
That sounds very nice.
That's what we do before, because our paths usually diverge on Christmas Eve,
right,
and then reconvene on Christmas Day.
Cute.
But that's kind of our, kind of relaxing little thing before the chaos starts.
That's very nice. I like that.
That's one of my favorite traditions.
Yeah.
Because I get champurrado.
I get food out of it. I was having something, I think I was trying to drag you along. I call it a Shane Black Christmas. And on Christmas Eve, I go to the Santa Monica Boardwalk and I just, the pier, and I just walk around because Shane Black's Christmas movies are all hot summer movies, but they take place on Christmas.
Someone in what we're about to get into, the listener submitted segment, has something kind of similar to that. Interesting. Maybe you should do it with them.
Yeah, give me their name.
Yeah, I'll give you their name and address on the air and not edit it out.
No, like the LA Times used to do.
But now, we're ready for what all
so
of you,
ready to hear what
all of you,
my
listeners,
meeklings do.
Meekling Army, please let us know.
Rise.
We are now Legion. We're flipping on the lights for your holiday season. So I've grouped them into similar categories of themes that kept popping up. Some people gave multiple answers that I split up to fit into the different categories they cover. And of course, they all have hilarious titles. Each of our segments.
That's their job.
Not their job. It's my job. I write the funny things.
Oh my God.
I make the yucks around here.
Oh, I see the title. You're not talking about their internet handles. You're talking about the titles of this.
No, those are aggressively unfunny.
They are actually all sexual assault jokes. They're not funny.
The first section we have is called Have a Nice Tip. See you next fall. These are recommendations people had for Halloween and Thanksgiving time to ease us into the transition. So this is from Nadav.
Oh, hi, Nadav.
A friend Nadav who once played Jack Parsons at our live show. So this is some Halloween stuff. Zombie Joe's Urban Death Show every October. He loves to go to, which I've never done. I think I'm scared of it.
I feel like he told me about that one year, but sounds
don't
really
they
cool.
like just people like throw up on each other and you like it?
No, you're doing it wrong. You're supposed to like it. Hey,
you signed a waiver. You have to like this.
You have to like it. You have to prove you like it.
But yeah, that's something he does in October.
Cool.
From Joanna Linkhorst.
Hi.
Cal Poly Pomona Pumpkin Fest.
I didn't know that. That's a lot of peas. I didn't know that was a thing.
Me neither. Cal
We should
Poly
look into
Pomona
that.
Pumpkin
What are you doing
Fest.
right now? You want to go?
Yeah, I'm not recording anything. Let's go to Cal Poly Pomona Pumpkin Fest.
I don't owe anybody anything.
Now we are transitioning. This next section is called Lights, Camera, Advent. These are
funny.
Christmas light displays people like to go see. From CC DeVere, seeing the Heritage Square Museum decked out for the holidays, which I can imagine is great.
Yes. I've seen it off the freeway, and it's quite lovely.
Oh, you can see it from... Oh, so I don't have to pay. I could just drive by. I could just like pull over on the...
Everyone drives slow on the 110 north.
I could just like stop in the middle of a sharp turn to get on the freeway.
Yeah, a literal U-turn you have to make.
This one is from Alexa Rose. My favorite holiday tradition in LA is to go watch the Marina Del Rey Holiday Boat Parade. Nothing makes me feel more LA than drinking a spiked hot chocolate while yelling Merry Christmas at a rich man dressed as Santa on a boat I can never afford.
That seems like something out of Lethal Weapon, yeah.
Well, the boat parade is a lot of fun, and it's like doing a drive-through holiday light experience, but the lights drive by you. In Soviet Russia, lights drive by you, as some would say.
Yeah.
In addition to the boat parade, I used to religiously do the Santa Monica to Venice Christmas run every year with my best friend, Amy. People dress up in festive outfits, and you end at the Venice sign right next to Angelica Houston and Robert Graham's old house. I now live in the beautiful West Valley, where I am nowhere near a boat and could not outrun an axe murderer, even if I wanted to. Back to Zombie Joe's.
Best of luck to you.
Yeah, I have seen
really cool.
boat parades, but not in LA. So maybe I should see that. I saw the one in Oxnard and the one in Santa Barbara before, but I have not seen.
You're a traitor, but yeah.
Yeah, boats just are nicer in Ventura County.
There's something about their wealth that appeals to me. A small man. A very small gentleman.
A very immature man. Yeah, that is something that's pretty special to LA. And I guess I don't know, actually. Do other places that are next to water do this sort of thing?
I hope so.
It might get too cold, though, like
over there?
Over there in the hinterlands.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that we have the luxury of, that you can stand out by the ocean at night in December and see a bunch of boats go by.
Yeah, the beaches have been never cold during the day for Christmas, so you can go out and enjoy the beach weather. Not go in the water, but you can walk the friggin' pier. Walk the plank, Buster.
The next one we have is from Insta-Rafi, and he says Naples Canals. And I thought he meant Venice, which is also a place in Italy. But I guess Naples Canals are in Long Beach.
Okay.
And it's also sort of it's like a little cul-de-sac almost of light parades, and I guess the houses have lights.
We're not supposed to talk about Long Beach on this podcast, or they're going to get mad at us, but that sounds really cool.
Why? Who?
Because they want to keep all the cool stuff hidden for longer.
Oh, true. Yeah, well, guess what? We are the new influencers, and what we say, people go to. Just like Buy Our Calendar. They all go to Buy Our Calendar.
They all go to Buy Our Calendar.
BuyOurCalendar.com.
Mm-hmm. I hope it's not a porn site. I hope it's not like
Please go
the
there.
dark web.
Turn off all your firewalls and go to BuyACalendar.com.
You're going to need 2 VPNs to scramble it up that much.
So also he said lights at Descanso Gardens.
Yes, I've heard that's also very nice.
Me too. What did I do? It was either the Descanso Gardens or the LA Arboretum that had a light thing that I went to. And yeah, it's fun. It's another sort of like, we have the luxury of being out at night and seeing lights in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
This one's from Suzanne True Love.
Hi.
Growing up in Hacienda Heights.
Hacienda Heights.
Our tradition was decorating the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve and not a day earlier.
Wow.
Which is that's really cutting
daring.
That's down to the wire.
Yeah.
Because if Santa shows up and that Christmas tree isn't decorated, decapitation, all of them.
He has a sword he has to unsheath in that big bag of his, and he rarely has to pull it out.
He's not a big fat man. That's his mace. He's got a giant medieval mace under his chest.
Are these 2 ornaments similar in tone? Too close on the tree?
You made macadamia nut cookies, and then he says, "I smash." And,
yeah.
It gets
Santa
really
smash.
Thanos clap. No, clap. The clap.
Yeah, the clap. He has the clap.
Thanos has the clap.
That's what...
Theranos.
Theranos has the clap, yeah.
Well, this one, again, we've got Joanna Linkhorst again. She prefaced this by saying this no longer exists, but...
Love in the world.
Arboretum, but the true spirit of Christmas. But Arboretum holiday lights. So I guess that's not the one I was talking about. I guess maybe I was talking about Descanso Gardens. She said they changed over the years, but it was cool enough that my son made sure to come up and do it with us.
Oh, cute.
Started out as an inflatables, Chinese themed, gorgeous, then just lights, lots and lots of lights,
Ooh.
even some torches.
Okay.
That's when Frankenstein showed up. The torches did come out. But yeah, I guess they don't do this anymore, which is unfortunate.
It's strange. I don't know how to put this, but it seems like Christmas is real in certain parts of the city and not others. But La Crescenta is one of those areas I'm driving around like Christmas is real. I don't know what my brain is trying to tell me
and
or
also,
other people.
You do walk into people's living rooms and say he does exist. There's a lot of posts about you on Nextdoor.
Come find me if you hate me so much.
Yeah, there are parts of town that do feel, but then there's the feel of Christmas, like Los Angeles beachy Christmas.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
In Torrance, it does feel different.
One would call it a Shane Black Christmas. I don't know.
But then, no, I don't
I
know
wouldn't
what that means.
sign off on that.
I call it an Michael Ian Black Christmas. But yeah, parts like La Crescenta, close to the mountains, it does.
Yes.
As some might say, it hits different.
It hits different.
Yeah.
The vibe hits different.
Much like Santa when you make the wrong cookies, it hits different. But yeah, it does feel, there are parts of town like, remember we were in Sierra Madre around Christmas time when we were filming that video, and that felt like, oh, this is like almost like a little woodsy town where Christmas is real.
Christmas is real here.
Santa does exist.
Jesus does see us here.
Now, this is a place that God will hear my prayers. So this next one is from That Dangerously Unbalanced Woman. You know the one.
I know her.
Christmas Tree Lane.
Right.
So she's on board with us. And then this one's from Ray Camacho. Similar.
Hi,
Woodland
Ray.
Hills Candy Cane Lane.
Candy Cane Lane. I don't even know. Can I eat them?
Yeah, the street. You can even eat the traffic cones.
You can even eat the boulevard.
I've gone to the Woodland Hills one, although I can't remember where it is. Like there are some streets I just kind of drive down thinking like, this is Christmas. And then it's I think there is one area that's kind of like, that's the Candy Cane Lane.
Literally Panorama City.
Yeah, it's North Woodland Hills, Panorama City.
Mission Hills, yeah.
This next one's from Kitty Kitty Din Din, which I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I pronounce it in my head. Right. A cup of hot cocoa and a drive-through Candy Cane Lane, again, related.
Nice.
This is from Babs_0126, my favorite bot in the universe.
Yeah.
Looking at all the Christmas decorations in Hastings Ranch.
Oh, okay.
And this is from Dr. Shiloh of LA Not So Confidential, expanding on Hastings Ranch. Growing up in Altadena, we used to always drive through Hastings Ranch to view the lights in the neighborhood and, of course, visit the House with 1,000 Lights.
Oh, my.
AKA the Balian Ice Cream Mansion.
Oh, my. There's an ice cream mansion?
Well, not anymore. Hastings Ranch is still a thing after dropping off for several years, but sadly the mansion is not. Yeah, they got global warming.
Global warming melted ice cream house.
But I saw... She sent me an article about it, and it's kind of crazy, the amount of lights on this house.
The photo was just a bright light. It's just like white.
It was like,
check how many lights they have.
It could have been a piece of white paper.
A piece of white paper, yeah.
So this next segment we have is called Walking Around the Christmas Street. Parades, Greg. Just a couple in here. Ray Camacho agrees with me. Las Posadas at Olvera Street.
Hi, Ray.
From Allison Bellin. It unfortunately no longer happens, but my favorite LA holiday tradition was the magical Christmas caroling truck in Toluca Lake, which I believe was kind of a parade of kind of like flatbed trucks with Christmas stuff on it.
I don't want to make implications about where you grew up, but did you have caroling?
Oh.
Okay.
Did you?
No.
Did anyone outside of Dickensian England have caroling?
People carol. There are groups that go around and do caroling, yeah.
Still?
Mm-hmm.
In today's economy?
With Beyonce out there making songs? You dare carol
when I could just put on Mariah Carey? Michael
Bublé is out there and you're going to carol? Really?
I don't know anybody who's ever had carolers. Okay. If you live in Los Angeles and have ever had a caroler come to your house, you may be eligible for compensation, but also let us know.
Yeah.
Because that's fascinating to me.
That's fascinating to me.
Because maybe I could see a place like
a South Pasadena, even a Sierra Madre.
Maybe. But if in LA, yeah, I could see it happening there. But I'm talking about like that might regularly happen in a place far flung, like in Maine, like some weird little town in Maine. But like I have never heard of that
Angeles, there's so many languages.
Yeah. Well, maybe they just, I have so many mezuzahs on my door. They will not come near us. They know. And I do put lamb's blood over the thing so they know not to.
I only have daughters here. Lots of them.
I kind of, the trope of that in like TV shows and stuff is like, oh, carolers.
Yeah.
They come so much that you hate them. I would love to hear a caroler.
Love it.
I wouldn't pay them. I mean, am I supposed to pay them? Do I tip?
If you can't tip, you have to join them.
That's how they get new members.
Yeah. It started off at 2 guys. Now look at them.
It was a barbershop duo, and now it's a bunch of Christmas carolers. So this next segment, we're moving on to the next one, is called Mall I Want for Christmas. We're talking malls and shopping here, Greg, but really this is pretty much the Glendale Galleria segment of the show. From Junk_Mail, your coworker, shopping for gifts at the Glendale Galleria.
That's right.
From Emilio Urongo III, from his boyfriend, though, buying a present for someone at the Glendale Galleria and then seeing a movie at the Americana.
That's nice. I like that.
That is a nice tradition.
That is nice. This year for Christmas, I'm going to start a new tradition. I'm going to watch Nosferatu every year. It comes out on Christmas Day. You want to go? Yeah, you want to go?
Oh.
Let's go see Nosferatu on Christmas Day.
But I got to go caroling.
God damn
I didn't have enough money to tip.
I refuse to tip, so now I got to go around and I got to sing Here Comes Santa Claus. I'm Santa Claus.
That's the real Nosferatu curse. Now I have to, on every Christmas Eve, I have to go door to door sucking the carols out of people. Will you let me sing to you? I can't sing to him unless they give me permission. This one is from Fred Sprinkle, taking pics of the fake/sad Christmas trees in Glendale Galleria parking garage. I got to see this. I don't know what that means.
They look normal, but you can tell they're sad.
You can tell they're depressed.
Yeah.
Like Peg Entwistle. From L.A. Meekley and Candy is Dandy alum. And, where would he be if not for his appearances on Ellie Meekley and Candy is Dandy, who is now a writer for Saturday Night Live? Carl Tart, writer for Saturday Night Live, who got his start as a lowly guest on Ellie Meekley.
The single greatest hat wearer this country has ever had.
Oh, yeah.
Next to Abraham Lincoln, but whatever.
Yeah. That's why Carl Tart refuses to go to the theater. He knows he's next.
He hates tall hats, first of all. Anything too tall he doesn't like, and the theater, for theater and specifically. He
hates the show My American Cousin. He's always said that. So he says going to the Fox Hills Mall and running into Old Faces reminds me of high school.
That's a very nice mall. I'd always heard of it in school, and it was just not the local mall for me. But now that I'm in Culver City, I've made my way over there a couple times.
Well, didn't they turn it into like a Westfield Mall or something like that?
Yeah, it's a Westfield, yeah. But the frame of it's still there. I didn't go to the one from the 90s that I wish I had gone to.
Do they still have the Foxes at least?
They're running around everywhere. And Foxy. It should be called the Foxy Hills Mall.
Well, when Carl Tart's there, it's the Foxy Hills Mall. Sic Semper Tyrannis, Carl. TikTok. So this next segment, we're moving on to the next one. This is a short one. It's called Silent Night Goes Electric. You want to guess what this is? Maybe I'll make a game out of it so you can guess what these segments are about. Silent Night Goes Electric.
I can't piece that one together.
Music.
Yeah, okay. All right. I thought there was a rhyme scheme in there, but you're just going for the Dylan thing, which I thought you were going
for. I'm always going for the Dylan. I'm always trying to get that D.
But I get Donovan. Go ahead.
I'm trying to present as Dylan, and all I'm giving is Donovan. So there's just one entry. This is from Rachel Reeds.
Hi, Rachel.
Krampus at PRS. I looked it up, and that means the Philosophical Research Society.
Mm-hmm.
And Tuba Christmas. I looked that up. It's exactly what it sounds like, and it's at the Hall of Crucifixion at Forest Lawn.
Whoa.
It's a bunch of tubas playing Christmas music.
Wow.
It sounds great.
Whatever Rachel Reeds says to do it.
Do you know Rachel Reeds?
Yeah, she's in the Breakfast Club. She's she's like I guess like a archivist or unofficial archivist, but she's also just somebody who's at like every event and just like the inside knower of things. Okay.
Yeah,
so if she says do something, you do it.
If there's one tip in this whole thing, I think Tuba Christmas is the one you want to go to.
I've been chasing those two words.
So it was Red, so it was Rachel Reed, so it was Rachel Dunn.
I always go to the one to Christmas, but tuba, you like that? Is that the stupid crap you like?
No, I like good stuff. Like I don't go to tuba Christmas. I go to
$3 Christmas,
cello Christmas. That sort of thing. More music's not the number 2.
I got a number 2 for you.
Yeah, I've got a big number 2 for you right now. So this next one, we're going to our next segment. So see if you can get this. This one's called Cinema. Wait, hang on. Okay, I had to work through it in my head. Cinema para mistletoe. Can you guess what this is?
Is it a play on Cinema Paradiso?
It is, but what are we talking about?
Going to the movies at Christmas to watch Nosferatu or Django Unchained.
That's exactly what we're talking about. But just movie-related things. So this is, again, from that Dangerously Unbalanced Woman.
If she says watch a movie, you watch that movie. She's one of my favorite cinephile.
You know her too?
Yes. I do. She's a peach. She's a meekling.
She says holiday films at the Old Town Music Hall.
Right.
Which is a great recommendation. There's something about going to see Christmas movies and Halloween movies at the Old Town Music Hall, which are so great, especially like the decorations and all that. But then walking out of that place afterwards when it's always foggy you really get a feeling. It's almost like tofu fog where it's like you walk out and it's spooky if you've seen, or if it's a holiday movie, you walk out, you feel that.
That feels spooky,
You feel spooky.
You feel spooky. I'm the ghost who haunts that theater. Me and Ada have seen Holiday in there a few times. What's the other one? Oh, White Christmas is pretty much the same movie. I don't think I've seen The Thin Man there. I saw Thin Man at New Beverly and Vista, but I really want to watch The Thin Man there for Christmas this year. And I don't think they're going to do it, but
all I want for Christmas is to watch The Thin Man at the Old Town Music Hall.
Yeah, but she's right. Being there for the holiday season is like
something really special.
It's really special.
The way they decorate it is insane.
I don't even need there to be a performance. I just can go in there and sit and eat popcorn and watch this decoration
eat a bunch
on
of
stage.
macaroons that they're selling.
Yeah.
So this next one again is from Junk_Mail.
Great guy.
I watch the Affleck/Gandolfini classic Surviving Christmas every year for the holidays. Okay, listen, don't make a mockery of what we're doing here today, Junk Mail.
Wonderful man. I asked everybody early in the year to give me 3 movies they think that I would like as recommendations. One of his was Saving Christmas.
Oh, so he's serious. He's
dead serious.
I rescind my
he is dead serious.
My reprimand.
If he tells you to watch a Christmas movie, you watch that Christmas movie.
But are they showing it at the Old Town Music Hall? Live accompaniment?
Live accompaniment. Commentary from Vince Vaughn.
James Gandolfini's voice is provided by the Wurlitzer organ. It's the sound of 2 pieces of gabagool slapping against each other.
It's like they perform it like Peter and the Wolf, where like the sound of the organ, the sound of James Gandolfini will be
Sorry, we woke up Phantom. Yeah. He's never heard an Italian accent before.
Frightens him.
So this next one is from CC DeVere again.
Yes.
Chinese food and Die Hard with ice cream or non-dairy equivalent for dessert.
Sounds great. That sounds really good. You know what I've never done in my life?
What?
Never watched Die Hard at Christmas.
Neither have I. And well, before we talk about that, this next one is from Not Right Olivia. This is really
Hi, Olivia.
Hi, Olivia. Hi, Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
Also, there's something not right about you. She says this is really dumb, and I've only been doing it for 2 years, but we drive to the Fox Plaza in the afternoon on Thanksgiving because I will inevitably be putting on Die Hard that evening of the next to start the whole Christmas thing. Doing stupid things that amuse only me is kind of my defining trait.
That's pretty cool.
That's what I meant when you were talking about going down to the pier. But yeah, apparently this is a thing, like retracing the steps of these quote unquote Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Christmas
movies. I think that I did that on Christmas when I went over to the pier because I probably holiday tradition secret. Don't tell anybody that I watched They Shoot Horses, Don't They in December many times. So I'm probably like, I need to walk the pier again.
The movie, what I recreate during Christmas time is I run through LAX screaming, "Where's Kevin?" That's my little thing.
Yeah. And they always take a shot at me. They
always
take a shot at me.
Only if I get past security, they try.
Make sure to get there 2 hours early to run around the airport.
So you want to go to the next segment?
Yes, please.
And this is my favorite segment, so you can guess what it is. The Bite Before Christmas.
Okay. It's about food.
That's right. It's about intense exercise for the month of December.
It's about Pilates.
So this again is from Amelia Uranga III. My family's LA tradition for the holidays is See's candy.
Wow.
We always had a box of it around the holidays at my grandma's. We've been doing it since way before even LA Meekly, if there even was such a time. Learning it was an LA institution really helps solidify its necessity around the holidays for me.
That's nice.
And you've talked about this before, that you always have a See's, because again, this is not something familiar to me. So it's good to know that people are eating so much See's candy.
So much See's candy. And especially because that was how you paid tribute to my grandma, was buying like a double-decker box of...
So that she would cut you in on the business?
Mm-hmm, yeah. You're a made man now. We can't whack you without permission from grandma.
From abuela.
Yeah. This is exactly what she sounded like. You did not bring me the nuts and shoes.
Where are my Bordeaux bars? Never go against the polar bear paws.
Yeah. So Christmas we would have like 9 like boxes of See's candy just floating around.
You know, you could get the giant like 15-pound box instead.
We could have, but who
among us?
Who among us is that wealthy? For that price, we could have just franchised our own.
This next one is from Gwynedd Stewart.
Hi.
Christmas Eve dinner at the galley. I don't know what the galley is.
Me neither, but let's look into it.
Let's look into the galley.
What's the galley?
Well, that's where I'm going to send you after this episode. Back to the galley is where where I make you sleep.
Back to the galley with you. Wait, what's it called?
The galley.
Well, something from Oklahoma popped up. What's the night called?
Christmas Eve dinner.
Oh, Christmas Eve dinner. What?
That's what's the night that we're talking about?
Yeah. Restaurant in Santa Monica, and it looks really nice. If this is what she's talking about in Santa Monica. Oh, it's like boat themed. Oh my God, it's beautiful.
I mean, it's the galley.
Excuse me. When I go, it's the guy-y, not the galley.
Guys and galleys.
I know this. I mean, I've driven past this place. Now I want to go.
Add it to your Shane Black Christmas.
I think I will. It's a steakhouse that has some seafood, and it's lit up, and it looks like a friggin' boat. And I want to.
You scared Phantom.
I'm so sorry, my love. I'm so sorry.
That is not what
amor.
Christmas is about. Not till next month are we going to be scaring.
Oh, he's
people.
doing the scary cat pose right now. Yeah. I'm sorry, Phantom.
Yeah, that was really rude, and you're not welcome back here. But now the next one is from Stephanie Barejo, the LA Times food reporter. Oh. I always make a stop at Monte Carlo Deli for provisions shortly before Christmas, which is also when the vibes are peak Italian American.
That's nice.
My grandma shopped there, and so do my mom, aunts, and cousins. It's a family staple year round, but especially when the holiday season hits. Also, we have to get a wedge of eggplant parm from Pinocchio's while there because how can I not?
Pinocchio.
Yeah, that's a really cool market. We've eaten at Pinocchio's together before in Burbank, of course.
Mm-hmm. Post-show
at the Mystic Museum. We ate there. But now that's a sort of East Coast kind of place that has more of that traditional American Christmas spirit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
You know, I left this out. Porto's is like a Los Angeles holiday staple, especially for your Christmases. Like, oh, we got to get something for the whole family.
You know how I feel about Porto's.
You're a bomb. You're just too East Coast.
This next one is from both. Two people said the same thing. Pants_on_fuego and Instarafi. Dinner at the Tam O'Shanter.
Oh, that's
nice. Which I hear is very nice during the Christmas season. I think we should.
Yeah, we should do that.
That's our next old restaurant.
Let's do that.
And then to round out the food one from Babs_0126 again, going to Claro's Italian Market and stocking up on holiday cookies, which I looked up that.
Yeah.
I figure where it's kind of in maybe the Pasadena, Altadena area, but that is like the Tuba Christmas and this are like my two
Let's do it.
Recommendations that I want to go. Just a little market, get some cookies. Now, this next segment we have is called Holiday Traffic Free Road. Now, can you guess what this one's about?
Everyone goes home for Christmas, but not us.
Not us.
Not us natives.
We are always home for Christmas.
And I've been waiting for this all year.
Several people have brought up the driving and commute from, again, that dangerously unbalanced woman enjoying empty freeways while everyone is out of town. Yes. From Aeronautical, my favorite LA holiday traditions revolve around taking advantage of all the transplants being out of town. So going to brunch somewhere trendy that normally has a really long wait, or going to Santa Monica from the east side since there is no traffic.
Right.
It is really a treat. You know, it feels apocalyptic.
It feels a little Omega Man.
In the most Christmassy kind of way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like you do like daring drives. Like, I think I'm just going to drive to like Palmdale. Like, you just like, you have it in your head. Like, I could just do that real fast.
Yeah, you can cut everything to the last minute.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. Ray Camacho said he takes a little drive through Griffith Park. But I think he might have meant that he did this after Las Posadas.
Oh, right.
But that's kind of scary. Yeah. You're scaring me now, Ray.
Come on. I know you're a spooky guy.
You might accidentally have a haunted hayride while you're in there.
What if you're a ghost? Do you ever worry about that?
You ever thought about that? So now our final segment that we have is called Out with the Old, Laying with the Sign. Can you guess what this is?
Say it again.
Out with the old, laying with the sign.
No. I did not even know. I, for a long time, didn't even know how to look that song up. I just kept putting New Year's song.
You kept Shazamming yourself.
Yeah.
Which your mom warned you not to.
I'll do what I want.
Yeah, we're talking New Year's now. Okay. This is from Lawrence of Los Feliz, Big Bar in Los Feliz for the New Year's Eve cocktail countdown.
Cool.
And from Alice's Hollywood Checklist, Lucky Boy breakfast burritos on New Year's Day, which is also something I want to try. I looked it up again. Maybe this was the thing that was in the Pasadena area, but it's kind of, like a Tom's Tam sort of place.
Okay. Ooh,
but I guess they have good
goodness
breakfast burritos.
gracious me.
So yeah, those are all of our recommendations from you, the listeners, of what to do this holiday season.
And thank you for sharing all your traditions. That's really sweet of everybody who contributed.
Nice.
And I hope everyone gets to do what they want this year. I hope that you learn from other meeklings what is possible.
How about you all combine traditions and then we all just live in one melting pot? How about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
How about we all learn a different language and then we try to communicate with a different community?
How about we all build a tower to God and then it gets shattered and we all speak even more different languages?
How about we try to steal fire from the gods and we get punished and a reindeer has to eat our innards every morning. We wake up and our innards have grown back and then they were like, that was a close one. And then it happens again.
How about I have to push this rock up a hill and it makes me really strong and I'm ripped and everyone likes me?
And Sisyphus. What happened?
What happened to you?
What are you doing later? Pushing the rock?
Still? Oh,
yeah, that's
right. You can't stop this guy.
He's married to that rock. No, I'm married to pushing the rock.
Men and their hobbies.
This is my man cave.
This is my man rock. So yeah, I got, like I said, I got a few things that I want to do this year from this list.
Two for Christmas.
You'll see me at
Two for Christmas. The galley.
Cookies.
Look at me. Cookies. Pre-diabetic? My wife can't know? Cookies. If you tell her, I'll cut you down in the street. Cookies.
We'll be eating cookies and she won't hear me over the tube at Christmas.
My divorce papers is going to have cookie crumbs all over it.
So, this is normally when we do a listener question, but we've heard enough from you for this episode. So no listener question.
Ask me a question.
Ask you a question.
You ask me a question.
Ask you a question. Why don't you love me? Why can't I eat more cookies than I want to? So we've heard enough from all of you for one episode. So for a plug before we finish up, support us on Patreon like we were talking about, patreon.com/LAmeekly. For as little as $5 a month, we'll send you a handwritten postcard from a different place in LA every single month. And yeah, we can go international.
Yeah.
We're not Roman Polanski again.
Yeah, we're not Roman Polanski. We can send a postcard to both New Zealand and France. And thank you, everybody, for contributing. Thank you. Happy holidays to everybody, whatever you celebrate, all you Kwanzaa listeners out there.
Yeah, where are our Kwanzaa listeners?
Happy freaking holidays. We're going to see you in a month, and it's going to be so spooky.
It's going to be I'm getting scared right now. I'm wetting myself right now. I really, I did wet myself, though, and I do need my bum sauce.
I need my
bum cream.
I need my no bum buck. Yeah, no, thank you, everybody. And I don't know. It's going to be so scary. We don't know what we're going to talk about yet, and we haven't done no research, but it's going to be so scary.
I do kind of have an idea of one story. If we are going to go with just a free-for-all, I do have one story I recently learned about in mind, and I'm pretty excited to look into it. Yeah.
Okay,
it's just the sort of thing I want to be reading about leading up to Thanksgiving.
This is how we sell it. This is how you and I celebrate.
Hey, don't judge us.
Don't judge us.
Don't fault us our religious foibles.
Do you want to drink, what's that hot wine called?
Mulled wine.
Do you want to drink mulled wine for it? I think we should do that.
No, that's disgusting.
No, it's cool.
We drink hot chocolate, Greg. Again, the Christmas censor is on.
Oh, it's chocolate.
We drink, you sexy thing. You know that. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thank you everybody for sending stuff in. Again, we haven't said it enough. People, you came through. This episode would not have come through.
Yeah.
And we would have been scrambling to do research if had not
I would have not been able to get 3 chapters into the book I'm reading if I had to research something. So thank you. I got 3 chapters into a book I've been liking.
I got to enjoy October and Halloween decorations more so than normal because of all of you.
Because of all of you.
So thanks again for listening and sending in. Well, again, get prepared to get scary in a month, and have a good Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a good election. Have a good Civil War. Have a good insurrection. Whatever you observe.
Yeah.
And that's been yet another episode of LA Meekly.
Stupid.
Idiot.
Since 2013.
By our calendar.
Stupid dum-dum. You thick in the head. I love you. Bye.